5 years and still talking. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey, hey everybody, it's the Ramble. It's with Alex. That's what it says there. And we're here until midnight tonight, Eastern Daylight Time, on the left coast, on the right coast of the United States, where we are, I guess, Infection City. I mean, we're ground zero. In a very Donald Trump way, I've got to say, USA is the best. We have now surpassed China in the number of people that have the coronavirus. But we'll talk about all that later. I've not been out of this apartment for 10 days, okay? So today I thought I would venture out, and as we did last time when we ventured out, we decided that we would just kind of, show you around my neighborhood one more time. Okay, and that won't start. Okay, well then it will start if I do this. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is my first time out in how many days? 10 days.
Lock up.
Okay. This is our anniversary, by the way.
Yeah, happy anniversary. Okay, come on.
Okay.
Do it. Where's your gloves?
Well, my gloves are right here.
Okay.
Here we are.
Happy anniversary.
I love you.
This is pathetic.
That's the quarantine kiss.
Yeah, wait until you see the trees and all the pollen and everything that's out today.
Really?
Yeah.
Anyway. So we're going out for a walk. My first time in 10 days, ladies and gentlemen. I've been in the house for 10 days.
This is the new normal.
Mm-hmm.
This is our anniversary day, and we're taking an anniversary walk.
Oh, isn't that wonderful? Oops,
Yeah.
Oops, my finger's in the way. Oh, boy.
Come on. You made me get dressed again.
Huh?
I put the chicken in.
You put the chicken in. We're having chicken. She's making chicken for our anniversary.
Oven roasted.
Huh?
Oven roasted.
Yeah. Well, let me see. Is it...
Sister. Thank you.
Hi, sister.
You were less than 6 feet, dear.
All right.
Huh?
I'm 6 feet from you.
No, well, it doesn't matter because, we sleep 1 inch from each other, so. Well,
We're taking a 1 block walk.
life seems to be going on out
Well,
here.
it is, but it's not the jam packed that you think of. But wait till you see 117th Street, all the blossoms.
Because there weren't any blossoms last week.
All right, just
Okay.
come out in the middle of the street.
Well, there's not
And
much.
more in the middle of the block, you'll see when we
Yeah.
get to the middle of the block.
It's not much traffic. That kind of. Oh, I see where they're starting to bloom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's not as quiet as I thought it would be,
Quieter in the morning.
and nobody here are wearing masks but us.
We're seniors. We're seniors, that's why. This morning everyone was wearing masks.
Really?
When I went out with Teresa, a lot of people were wearing masks.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Not the runners or the bikers, but the people that were, going to the supermarket and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
This is why I'm sneezing,
Yeah.
because the trees are starting to get into bloom.
Yeah, see it?
Yeah. Let me see here. Yeah. Well, this street's not any more quiet or unquiet than usually is. Ooh, there, see? Oh, the trees are in bloom. When I was here last, they weren't in bloom. That's pretty cool. Where's huh?
Look at this.
Yeah, I know.
Spring is in the air.
That's dangerous.
I'm too close to you.
Oh, well, you know, life goes on, I guess, huh?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah?
But your immune system is too compromised. That's why you've got to take care of yourself. And me too. I mean, I've got COPD or whatever it's called.
COPD.
COPD.
Well, I also have one other thing. I'm 80 years old.
Yeah. I'm close to it. I'm close behind you.
Yeah.
I hear them.
What?
I hear them chirping. Oh, they're in the bushes right there.
Yeah. Are they wearing face masks? Are they
Not
keeping
yet.
Are they keeping 6 feet away from each other?
Not yet.
Animals are laughing at us right now.
What was the chicken disease in China like 10 or so years ago?
Bird flu.
Bird flu.
Yeah.
That started in China too, right?
Yeah.
Hi. Happy anniversary.
I always thought it was funny. It was called bird flu. Birds do fly.
Birds flew. Had a kill. Is that an apartment building over there? Yeah.
Yeah. This is, it's not as quiet as I thought it would be. I think it's less quiet than it was when I was out here 10 days ago.
Well, it's less quiet than when I was out with Teresa. But see how they're standing at the supermarket? They're only letting certain many people in.
Oh, let's go. Yeah. Wow. You have to wait in the line to get into the supermarket. So wait a minute. When you go there,
I go at 7 in the morning.
you go at 7 in the morning?
And like a few days ago, there were 3 people. And the other day, there were about 12 people. But we all stood.
How many do they let in at a time?
I don't know, because I was in the first group. And we were,
Yeah.
probably didn't let us all in.
Look at that, a line to get into the grocery store. That's amazing. It's quite a line too. In fact, it goes, let me see if I can show you. I'm trying to, it actually goes around the corner and down the block a little bit of people waiting to get into the Fine Fare supermarket. Wow. Huh. Did you notice that the line actually goes all the way around the block?
Well, just a few.
Yeah.
But in the morning at 7 o'clock,
How many people are they letting in at a time?
I don't know.
You want to go this way? Let's go this way.
No, I don't like that street.
Well, no, we'll take that street because we can see more people.
Oh, look at the subway.
What? What? What, they're not letting people in the subway?
I don't know.
Huh?
I don't know, but all the subways are take. Maybe certain stops.
Wow. I can't imagine that anybody's taking them.
Well, I've seen pictures of people sitting in subways and buses,
Yeah.
but they may have stopped it.
I can't like the black
I do
mask.
too.
We gotta get those. Everybody,
It's kind of cool looking.
you know, we should go in the business of is making stylish masks.
Oh, they've done that in China for years.
You know, but this is a deadly. Look at this. It's all taped off.
Oh, it's also is it gated? No, there's no gates.
Crime scene, it says.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Maybe there was a crime scene there.
Well, 2 little boys went into the
Yeah.
Hudson River, and they haven't found their bodies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Teresa showed me. There's pictures all over the park.
Wow. So,
See, they're letting them in free, but you can't get in the front part.
why can't you get in the front part?
The driver has to be there. He has to be safe.
Wow. And they're letting people in free?
Yeah.
It's a free ride for everybody?
Sir?
Was that 6 feet? Was I 6 feet?
I guess so. This guy's taking a break.
Wow. Now, so you can ride the bus for free now
Yeah.
because they don't want anybody coming in the front where they're gonna. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Here we go. This is Amy Ruth's. How do we describe Amy Ruth's?
Originally it was a soul restaurant that was very good, but now it's like a tourist place.
Yeah, they have takeout from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. But,
I'll tell you what was really good, but it was expensive.
what?
Last week when we did Popeyes.
Popeyes.
We must have quaffed that down like in 15 minutes.
Yeah. Well, it's good. They don't call it fast food for nothing. You know. And now this is interesting. Over here,
An ambulance. That's an old age home right there.
got an ambulance, but you have cop cars there too.
Yeah.
Wow. But are they at the old folks' home or where are they? But we had ambulance.
And some cop cars.
Ah, well. Anyway,
This is the new normal.
this is our new
This
normal.
is the new normal.
Yeah. And my gloves don't work.
The little tip.
By the way, what's wonderful about this iPhone is that it opens up because it recognizes you. But when I have my face mask on,
I know it didn't
it
recognize.
doesn't recognize
Yeah,
me.
I had the same thing. And then with rubber gloves, it was hard to punch in.
Will it work with the rubber gloves?
It does, but with the punch in, you can't, you know.
Well, I have to use the gloves, and instead these things.
I don't want you touching
these gloves I bought.
Yeah,
They have, see,
the tips.
yeah, but it doesn't work with this phone for some reason.
Maybe that was for the old phone. When we get to the gate, don't touch anything. Let me open the gate.
Oh, okay. Do you think we caught anything?
No. Look, everything's shut.
Yep. Well, that place is open.
That's takeout, yeah.
But they actually had a line in front of our supermarket. And how many are they letting in at a time?
I don't know. But they have a big black line about 10 feet from the cash register. And you have to stand behind it. And then when that person checks out, then they let the next person come in.
It looks like some people just don't care.
Look at this outfit. Only in New York.
Only in New York. I didn't show the people the guy who was in some kind of weird outfit. But that's what happens when the apocalypse is at hand.
Anything goes.
And that's our little walk for today, folks.
That's it.
Wasn't that interesting? And kids as usual, just our kids doing stuff. Here they go. Well, we're back home, and happy anniversary, dear.
Happy anniversary.
And that was our little trip in our neighborhood today. So thank you for all joining me on it. Listen, I'm going to do something before we go to our citizen panel. Rob Alfano, who's finally put his studio back together and I think is getting itchy to do stuff, did something today. He was watching CNN and they had a whole bunch of quotes of Donald Trump. So he took those quotes and he gave his own spin to them and has made kind of a little, what could we call it, a conglomeration, what's the word I'm looking for, a pastiche of just the wonderful things that Donald Trump has said and done during this coronavirus situation. And we thought, well, you know, maybe you'd like to hear it, okay? Here is our good friend, Rob Alfano. Well, wait a minute, let me start it up again.
The coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic is the most catastrophic event in our lifetime. The Trump administration refuses to take responsibility for how it has played out since we first learned about the virus. The president hopes that America's attention span is short regarding his public comments. But the microphones were running, and they captured the truth. What follows is a look at the evolution of the president's position on the COVID-19 pandemic. We start on January 22nd with only one recorded case in the United States.
The CDC has identified a case of coronavirus in Washington State, the Wuhan. Are there words about a pandemic at this point?
No, we're not at all, and we have it totally under control. It's one person coming in from China.
On January 30th, there are now 5 recorded cases in the United States.
We only have 5 people. Hopefully everything's going to be great. They have somewhat of a problem, but hopefully it's all going to be great.
On February 10th, with now 12 recorded. The coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic is the most catastrophic event in our lifetime.
Sorry about that, folks, because I did a little screw up there, but let's start it over again. All right, I'm just trying to get the volume down on this thing a little bit. Okay, here we go. We have to start it from the top.
The coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic is the most catastrophic event in our lifetime. The Trump administration refuses to take responsibility for how it has played out since we first learned about the virus. The president hopes that America's attention span is short regarding his public comments. But the microphones were running, and they captured the truth. What follows is a look at the evolution of the president's position on the COVID-19 pandemic. We start on January 22nd with only one recorded case in the United States.
The CDC has identified a case of coronavirus in Washington State, the Wuhan. Are there words about a pandemic at this point?
No, we're not at all, and we have it totally under control. It's one person coming in from China.
On January 30th, there are now 5 recorded cases in the United States.
We only have 5 people. Hopefully everything's going to be great. They have somewhat of a problem, but hopefully it's all going to be great.
On February 10th, with now 12 recorded cases in the United States, the president said this.
The virus. They're working hard. Looks like by April, in theory, when it gets a little warmer, it miraculously goes away. I hope that's true. But we're doing great in our country.
As Americans celebrate Valentine's Day, we reach 15 cases here in the United States.
What do you have, a very small number of people in the country right now with it? It's like around 12. Many of them are getting better. Some are fully recovered already.
11 days later, on February 25th, the reported cases jumped up to 53 in the United States.
The coronavirus, which is very well under control in our country. We have very few people with it. The people are getting better.
At this point, the president places Vice President Pence in charge of the coronavirus task force. The virus continues its progression. On February 26th, the number of cases is up to 56.
Because of all we've done, the risk to the American people remains very low. And we have the greatest experts in the world, really in the world. We've had tremendous success beyond what people would have thought.
2 days later, at one of Trump's political rallies, with the number of recorded cases up to 60, the president uses it as a political weapon against the Democrats.
Now the Democrats are politicizing the coronavirus. You know that, right? Coronavirus. And so far, we have lost nobody to coronavirus in the United States. Nobody. And it doesn't mean we won't, and we are totally prepared.
As the month of February comes to an end, the U.S. reports its first death from coronavirus, and the number of cases is now 67.
Our country is prepared for any circumstance. We hope it's not going to be a major circumstance. It'll be a smaller circumstance, but whatever the circumstance is, we're prepared.
As prepared as the president claimed the USA was, just 5 days later, the number of cases rises by more than 40% to 161. 11 Americans have lost their battle against coronavirus to date.
You can't be a politician and shake hands. People come in, when I leave, I'll be shaking hands with people. They want to shake your hand. They want to say hello. They want to hug you. They want to kiss you. I don't care. It doesn't, you have to do that.
The following day, the number begins to increase at an alarming rate. In just one day, there were 66 additional cases, bringing the total to 227, with 14 dead.
I think we're doing a really good job in this country at keeping it down. We've really been very vigilant, and we've done a tremendous job at keeping it down.
From January 22nd to now March 15th, with 1,000 cases reported and 31 dead, our president is finally catching on.
This is the most aggressive and comprehensive effort to confront a foreign virus in modern history.
2 days later, on March 13th, over 660 cases are recorded, bringing the total cases up to 1,666, with 41 Americans dead.
Anyone can be a carrier for the virus and risk transmission to older Americans and those with underlying health conditions, and those who are most at risk. They have not done very well.
On March 16th, the total number of cases rose by nearly 2,000 people, totaling 3,616, with 65 dead.
I'm glad to see that you're practicing social distancing. That looks very nice. And this afternoon, we're announcing new guidelines for every American to follow over the next 15 days as we combat the virus.
The following day is St. Patrick's Day. With 4,477 cases and 87 dead, the president finally calls it a pandemic.
This is a pandemic. I felt it was a pandemic long before it was called a pandemic. All you had to do is look at other countries. One day we'll be standing possibly up here, we'll say, well, we won. And we're going to say that. Sure as you're sitting there, we're going to say that.
The following day, with almost 2,000 more cases and almost 40 more dead, the president is at war.
I view it as in a sense, a wartime president. I mean, that's what we're fighting.
Maybe Americans do have a short memory. Maybe we're bombarded by news cycle after news cycle that it's impossible to remember all of these moments. But this isn't fake news. These are the president's own words, and they are a public record. This isn't an attack by the left. This is fact. Our president is changing the paradigm in this country with regards to the truth. The new paradigm is, if you repeat something enough, regardless of the facts, it becomes the truth.
Thank you very much. Rob Alfano put that together with the help of some audio that came off of CNN. And I think if that doesn't make you mad, I don't know what will. I mean, this was a guy who's totally oblivious to the realities, you know, and to then say, well, I've always felt it was going to be a pandemic and blah, blah, blah. I mean, just the lying, the just horrible lying that goes on in this White House. has now put our entire society in jeopardy, okay, as it were, because he's just not believable. And in a case like this, you got to have somebody who's believable, who can rally the troops. Anyway, our lines are open now for our citizen panel. After all the sorry about that false start. What happened was I was trying to adjust the volume over here, and when the thing that I use, it doesn't stop where I left off. Okay, it just keeps going. I'm going to see what I can do about that, so I don't have that problem again. But thank you for bearing with me. I appreciate it, and whatever. Let's see here. Who's calling me? Oh, hello. It's the guy who you just heard from, folks. You're the guy that let me see here. Let me get him, and let me give him a slot. Let me see here. Okay, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Rob Alfano. There's Rob. Okay, we'll do that. And then from Australia, right, Doc Winters, as we used to call him. You remember Doc, Rob?
I remember the name.
Yeah. And Doc, and there's Charlie Wallace. Let me see here. Let me also let's see, Charlie Wallace. Boy, oh, God, everybody's calling really fast. Oh, here comes Doc again. Let's see here if we can get him on here. Josh Wheeler is calling. Let me see here. Oh, boy, everybody's calling all of a sudden. It panics me. It panics me. Let me see here. Well, Ross Manuel, there we go. Hello, Ross. How are you? Good to see you. He's calling from Australia, and that was one of the big countries that was hit as well. Let me first go get some of these other people in here. First of all, I got to get. Let's see here. I got to get. Add that. Oh boy. Okay. Just everybody hold on a second while I do this. It takes forever. First of all, we got to go get, do we have Charlie? We have Dan, and we have Ross, we have Rob, and we have, here comes Phil. We'll put Phil in there. Come on. Oh, God, I try to do this, and it's all a big problem. Okay, and then let's see here. Then we got Tony. He would be in the 5th place. Oh, wow. Jeez. Almighty. Let me see here. We got to find. Let me see here. I mean, somebody's got their audio up. Let me see here. Who don't we have here? Oh, here goes Webhead. Okay. There we go. Let me see here. Let me let you people see what's going on. Here comes Jeff, who. Let's see here. Let me put him in the 6th spot. And that would be this. Okay. And then Patrick Blazik is calling. Wow. Boy, everybody, you're doing it too fast. I can't work this fast. Okay, wait a minute. Hold on a second. On the source 6, what I want on there? I wanted that. Okay, there we go. Okay. There we go. And then I got to go to 8 here, and 7. It's going to be Patrick. Oh, boy. Patrick, Darth Pat. Okay. And then finally in the 8th slot, here comes Bree. Let me see here. Cancel. Let me go Bree. Let's see here. Boy, we got so many people. Let me get Bree here. Let me. Okay, whoever was turning up that sound, don't do it. Don't do it. There's Bree. Okay. Now it looks like. Look at that, folks. Already filled up. That's a lot of work for me to do all at once. Oh, here we go. Here comes Kevin. So I got to put him in another slot. Let me see here. What?
Here comes Santa Claus. Here comes Santa Claus.
Yeah, wait a minute. Hold on a second. 8. Let's see here. 9. I guess 9. Yeah, he was in there last night, so that works. I didn't even have to do anything because that's where he was. But I got to get rid of where. Wait a minute, we got Bree in 2 spots here. We got Bree.
Double your pleasure.
Oh, I see. That's probably because that's where he was last night. Okay. We just okay. Cancel, and I will. Let me see here. Let me get rid of his second picture here, which will be gone in a moment. There we go. Okay, there we are. We got 9 people, and that also makes it, of course, a full house, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. All right. Am I right? Am I right that that's a full house?
Yes, it's a full house.
To people who can't see the show and are just listening to it, it's got to be driving you crazy because I'm trying to make this thing go. And usually people don't call this fast, and I can do it as we go. But everybody jumped in immediately tonight. So hello to all of you, and especially, let's say, a big hello to, oh, you know who we haven't put in here? Oh, wow. Hold on a second. Josh Wheeler. Oh, boy. Hold on. Josh Wheeler. I got, where's Josh? Josh. What name are you here? Oh, there we go. There he is. Okay, then I do that. And
I think Tony left.
What?
I think Tony left.
Is Tony there? Tony? Are you there? Well, we'll keep.
Yeah, he's gone.
Well, we'll keep him there just so I don't have to do anything about that. Let me see here, and then also we got to change this from a full house to. Are you ready, ladies and gentlemen? Ta-da! A royal flush. Oh, wait a minute.
With Tony.
6.
Well, we'll say Tony's in there because he'll probably call back and then automatically get put in that spot. So
Right. Okay.
we'll call it a royal flush. What the hell? Why
One
not?
more and you'll have your jackpot.
Huh? Oh, don't do that. I don't want to. This is about as many as I can take. Be honest with you, without it really blowing itself apart and going sky high. But my CPU usage is pretty good. So, you know. Anyway, how you all doing tonight? Are you all healthy? Anybody got the? Oh, here comes Tony again. So he'll be there. Okay. Let me do this.
Shit.
Okay.
I want to set the hand up rule right away with all these people.
What, the hand up rule? Yeah, the hand up rule. You there? There you are, Tony. Okay.
Oh, there. I
Yeah.
got thrown off. I wasn't sure you got too many calls at once.
No. And what do you, Bree, what are you working on?
You know, Alex, I have one of the first Wi-Fi internet radios that was ever produced.
Mm-hmm.
I have the portable and I have the desktop. And what happened is it no longer connects to Wi-Fi. It hasn't for, 5-6 years because all the Wi-Fi routers are too advanced. They're like on N.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
So this one needs an earlier version. So I read online that I can replace this USB dongle and it should still work. Now I've already had one casualty. One of the buttons broke off.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to have to super glue that in the future. But right now I'm just taking out the old dongle and I'm putting in a new one.
Dongle sounds like a dirty word. I don't know why, but it sounds dirty. Anyway, everybody here, Rob, thank you so much for doing that thing. Explain it to people exactly.
So I was on my phone and the CNN app, and I watched. It's called the Arc, or like the Arc of Donald Trump through the coronavirus.
Mm-hmm.
And so you got to credit. This was their idea. All I did was I said, "Man, this would be great on GavNet," but without the commentary that they put on the screen, which was all the facts.
Mm-hmm.
The commentary was mine, but all the facts about the deaths and all that was theirs. So kudos to CNN for putting that together. They did all the research. I just edited it all together and put my voice in there to read the parts of, that they put on the screen. Otherwise, it wouldn't have made sense.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. It was very good. For equal time, let's ask Phil what he thought.
Here's the deal, man. You know that according to Gallup, Trump's rating, approval rating on the coronavirus.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Bree,
Yeah.
mute yourself when you're not on talking because all that clanking is kind of making noise. Okay. Anyway, go ahead. Yes.
Back to the thing. Here's the deal, man. Trump, his approval rating on Gallup for his handling of the coronavirus is at 60%. So I guess, yeah, there's been a lot of deaths, and it has come from one person in Washington to what we have today, which is almost 100,000 people.
Over 100,000.
Yeah. So it's grown, but it's grown around the world. And at the time,
No, it's not growing around the world.
No.
do you know that the U.S. and South Korea have a 1.5% rate of infected that have died? So we're at the same rate as South Korea, which is the lowest rate of the other nation in the
They
country.
haven't had time to die.
Yeah. Well, that's the way it is.
It takes
man.
about 20 to 25 days to die from this, even if you're on a respirator. Okay. And
Phil, it doesn't drive you nuts that he said this is a pandemic? I've been calling it a pandemic forever. All of the leading sound bites leading up to that point, he was denying it. It's nothing. It's when the weather warms up, it's going to go away. It's nothing. We got it under control. We're ready for anything. This is the kind of person you want leading this nation during a crisis like this.
I think he's doing a good job, but it became a pandemic when it became a pandemic, and it wasn't before that.
So where's the preparedness that he told us he had?
Well, he is prepared. We're
prepared to what?
They're making respirators.
Charlie has Charlie has his hand up. They'll be ready in July, by the way. Go ahead, Charlie.
You realize there have been over almost 20,000 new cases since yesterday. That's under control since yesterday. 20,000 cases.
I think those cases have been there. The only thing is they're doing more testing. So now
he refused to spend $1 billion on respirators because it costs too much when we had a $2.2 trillion bailout.
You know that there's a warehouse in New Jersey full of respirators.
Yes, that they delivered. They sent to New York and delivered in New Jersey. That was a good idea.
It's Union Trucking.
Yes. You make a joke to kind of get out of the thing. Hold on a second. I want to talk to Ross. I want to talk to Doc Winters. How you doing, Doc? Doc, can you hear me?
Hey. Muted.
Yeah.
All right, had to mute my mic.
Yeah. Where in Australia are you again? What city?
I'm in Canberra.
In Canberra. How's it been doing there, this virus, and what's Australia been doing about it?
Well, we've had got the information up. Australia has been pretty proactive in the management. We have the advantage of being an island country, so all our cases have to come by air.
Yeah.
But we've had just under 3,500 confirmed cases in Australia, for a population equivalent to that of, say, maybe Oakland. 13 Australians have died of the virus.
13 people have died of it.
13. 3.
That's pretty good, actually. And But let me look at the map here.
Maybe that's prepared.
Huh?
Maybe that's what prepared looks like.
Yeah, that's what prepared looks like.
Yeah.
Australia
South
has.
Korea and the U.S. started at the same time. We've blown way past South Korea.
What? No, we haven't.
We're going to have more than any other country in the world. We blew past China.
South Korea's at 9,332, Phil, where we're at 104,007. By the way, Todd Moore, if you're trying to call, I really... Oh, boy.
Hit the jackpot.
Let me see if we can do it. Okay? All right? Okay. Todd, I'm putting you on, but if we have a problem... Can you hear me? Okay. Todd?
You.
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, give us a picture. Give us a, we just have your,
I got a picture?
yeah, yeah.
By the way, Doc Winters needs congratulations. I think he has 2 children now. He's just had another baby. Oh, one?
Oh. I've
One?
only got the one. I've only got the one.
Okay, that's
Oh.
one.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Well, let me see here. No, Todd, we're not getting a picture from you.
It could be when you get too many. Sometimes.
Yeah, Todd, we're going to have to hang up on you because this is not going to work for us. Okay. Let me just try and. How do I do this? I don't even know how I do this. Remove from call. Okay, there we go. All right. Wait a minute. Now, wait a minute. What happened to? Where is everybody? What happened to Patrick?
He's here.
He's right there.
Is he here?
Yeah.
Where are you there, Patrick?
I'm here.
I don't have a picture on you.
Well, I so.
His picture is on Skype. Maybe.
Turn your camera off and turn it back on again. Todd, I can't take your call, Todd. Sorry about that. Did you turn your camera on and off again? There we go. Now we got you. Okay, where were we? Oh yes, we were talking to Doc Winters. Okay, so Doc, in Australia, I'm trying to look, and Australia isn't even like the top 20. Australia, 3,143, and I don't have any information on deaths and so on, but in Sydney, for instance, they had 1,405 cases and there were 7 deaths. 4 have recovered so far. So, yeah. So, and so what are you doing? Todd, I'm trying to tell you, no. Oh, is that your baby?
It is.
Oh boy, let's see the critter.
Does he have an Australian accent?
He has an Australian cry.
So how are you?
He's upset with Trump too.
Oh
So
boy.
what we're doing.
It was wonderful to be a child like that and to be able to cry and annoy your parents like crazy and piss in your pants and vomit all over your parent. It's good. What?
That's the cry heard around the world.
Yeah. Anyway,
right.
I wanted to ask Todd though, what kind of actions they're taking there. Is he there again? No, I guess he had to take the baby somewhere. We'll ask him when he comes back. Okay. How you doing out there, Patrick? Is it where you live? Is it going crazy at all?
It's fine. I mean, I don't know. It's the same as everywhere else. You just deal with it instead of continually bitching.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Take 3.
Yeah. Yes.
Everybody fucking crying about what Trump said or didn't say, or
Because he's our fucking president, Patrick. He's not just some guy down the street in a bar. He's our fucking president.
It's about time you admitted it that he's our president.
Bitching about what a man says who's the most important man in the country, saying stupid ass things.
Yep.
I mean, come on. When do you get upset about what goes on in the nation with the most important, most powerful man? I don't even know if he's the most powerful man in the world anymore because we're not at that standing anymore. But he's still a powerful man who's a nut.
Can't blame him for everything that fucking happened here because it's localized too. I mean, the governors are making a decision, like in my state, shelter in place or lockdown, whatever they're calling it, and you can't control human beings from going out unless you do, martial law.
Well, you know something? They talked about, in China, they just had to take very draconian moves in order to stem the tide of the coronavirus. But they did it. There hasn't been a case reported in a couple of weeks now. It's almost disappeared in China now. They did very draconian moves. But hey, you know, if it's going to save lives, you can be draconian for a short period of time. Just don't go back to it after we're through.
The only way it worked is that communism or the communist regime in China is all powerful, and they can.
Well, what I'm saying is that, you know, it's too bad that we can't go to some kind of footing like that. I mean, I would have, if I were the president at this point, I would have declared martial law on this deal.
I never wanted that. People have a right to go infect themselves if they want to.
Phil, but they don't have the right to infect me, and that's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Your house, and you don't have to worry about it. Stay in your house, and you don't have to worry.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
The greatest generation sacrificed in this country like nobody else. And we can't even ask people to sacrifice by sitting in their living room watching Netflix.
I mean, I love staying home now. Exactly. He makes a good point.
What?
They can't follow directions, like Rob said. Stay in your house for
We're
a few
all
weeks.
spoiled.
Yeah. I don't mind staying. No, because you know what it is? A lot of these people cannot follow instructions. Go out and get your groceries and come back home. People are just ignorant. They don't.
You can't even get your groceries. I mean, I looked at the grocery store today. I wouldn't wait in that line.
Well, I go to the small store. There's nobody in it half the time. I go in and I run out.
Yeah, well, Marjorie goes down to that store at 7 in the morning when they first open up, and there are like 3 people, and she goes in, remember the old TV show Supermarket Sweep? Did a supermarket sweep, got everything she needed, and got the hell out of there. You know.
I usually go at 8 o'clock when I'm all asleep, and I said, I'm going to the store. I take
in the
the
morning. You're lucky.
What?
You're so lucky. 3 people in the morning. If I go first thing when it opens, there will be 200 people there. There's no way you get in.
Are you having the toilet paper? Are you having the toilet paper rush in Malaysia like we're having here?
Everything.
How about in Australia, Doc?
Oh, where the joke originated from?
Where the what originated from?
Where the joke originated from.
The joke originated from.
All the original reporting and all of the original accounts and all of the videos of the fist fights, everything, it all came from here.
So you were hoarding toilet paper before we were.
Yeah, despite the fact that Australia produces 60% of its own toilet paper, we don't import hardly any. And they're all like, "Oh my God, we gotta have some."
They were hoarding Vegemite.
Yeah.
That stuff is a national treasure. We will defend it to our life.
You never diss Vegemite to an Australian. No.
I mean,
or a Brit.
Or Brit? Do the British
That's
like
how I
Vegemite?
heard about it from a Brit.
Some countries, I don't know why they do that. Greece. You know what the biggest coffee brand in Greece is?
No.
A coffee you probably haven't had a drink of in years.
Folgers.
Sanka?
Nope. Nescafe.
Nescafe.
I used to drink that.
That's instant.
Yes. Nescafe. If you go into any place in Greece and say, I want some coffee, they will bring you Nescafe. You have to ask for and if you just want Greek, you can say, I want Greek coffee, and then they bring it to you in their grounds in the cup. You know, but no, Nescafe is the coffee of Greece. I don't understand it. It's terrible. Well, I've tried Vegemite. I guess, Doc, it's kind of a, what could we call it? A learned thing.
Yes, it is. And it is an acquired taste. It is.
It is an acquired taste. Yeah, I'm losing.
Remember, we're brought up on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm losing all command of the English language tonight. I don't know why.
But as to Phil, what you were saying about how we're managing it.
Yeah, how are you managing?
It is a $1,100 fine if you're caught outside without a reason. If you travel interstate, you are mandatory quarantined for 14 days. If you come internationally, you are mandatorily quarantined for 14 days. All non-essential businesses have been shut. All non-essential services have been shut. and the Defense Force has been brought in to police the quarantine procedures. That being said, though, we have a relatively low infection rate, mainly because almost all of our infections have come from overseas travel, mainly people flying in from Europe or America, which are the two largest places of infection, vectors for infection in Australia. And because of that, they've ended up having to enforce quarantine on anyone who comes in. Unfortunately, we get a lot of cruise ships because we're in the South Pacific and we have the port facilities to support them, kind of like how California is in a similar regard. The issue with that, though, is we end up having spikes whenever a cruise ship comes through.
Yeah, Kevin, you have your hand up.
When did they put your SIP in place?
Our Prime Minister had been working on a pandemic protocol pretty much like 2-3 weeks before the WHO did.
So early March?
Yeah, early March, late February, early March was when we started on a pandemic footing.
Well, they're way ahead of us. At least a couple weeks ahead
don't
of
have
us.
a national.
Yeah.
It's a state by state.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
we
you're
have
a couple weeks ahead of us then, probably easy.
I mean, like what we have at the moment, we have what the Prime Minister's calling is the National Cabinet, which is where essentially the Prime Minister and the equivalent of the governors all meet on a daily basis and they assess how many cases have come through, what impacts it's had, what effects it's had, and what policies need to be brought in. And then every night they come in, and then the following 2 days later they bring out new policies. We're in what they call stage 2 lockdown, which is basically all non-essential travel is banned. No gatherings over more than like 4 people per one person for every 4 square meters. So it's about 1 person every 6 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much where we're at.
No outside gatherings larger than 10 people. No inside gatherings. Larger than.
So how long has this been in force?
It's been in force since early March.
Early March.
Is it like fully enforced?
So have you had to stay indoors in your house for all that time?
No, I was working up until Monday.
Okay, what do you do?
I work at a museum, so I'm front of house in a museum.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it was one of those things where museums were still technically allowed to be open, but non-essential work didn't really start until Monday. So that's when stage 1 lockdowns came in, was on Monday.
Yeah.
Prior to that point, it was social distancing, travel warnings to international areas. What's the other one? If you're at risk, stay home, that kind of thing.
Right.
We had the advantage of it being relatively small infection cells here.
Mm-hmm.
The Australian border closed to all overseas traffic on last Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
As in, today's Saturday here. But
there probably wasn't much traffic anyway, though, because a lot of those countries that people would have been coming from, I don't know. I wouldn't want to get on an airplane.
Well, we had a travel ban to China and Italy and Iran before most people did.
Mm-hmm.
And then we extended our travel ban from Italy to all of Europe. America was the last place that we had it instituted. And by that time, we had closed the border. So no foreign nationals are allowed into Australia.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, only Australians who are allowed out for compassionate grounds and for humanitarian grounds.
Do you remember that movie and the book by Neville Shute called On the Beach?
On the Beach, yep.
Remember what it was about?
Yep.
Australia was the only country in the world left after a nuclear holocaust.
What happened in New Zealand?
I don't know. It wasn't in the movie. Okay,
Mad Max was in Australia. Chugga.
Mad Max was in Australia, but also further to what Bill was saying earlier.
Yeah.
Federally, so at the national level, we have level 2 lockdowns, but in the 2 most populous states, New South Wales and Victoria, they've already instituted level 3 lockdowns, which is basically you're only allowed outside of your house if you are going to the doctor, to a pharmacist, or you're going to get supplies.
Mm-hmm. Right.
and that's it. And if you're caught out, like food courts are closed. Like there's no cinemas are closed. Like all entertainment is closed. Sport's been cancelled for like 3 weeks now.
Right. We've done pretty much all of that too. But our president wants to try everything get everything going by Easter.
Well, this morning, Scott Morrison, who's the Prime Minister, has said he'll put the Australian economy in hibernation until this is over.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, what happens is that no debts will be accrued, no rents will be collected, no funds will be managed.
Mm-hmm.
The government will, they haven't quite figured out how to make this work. The government will basically subsidize, kind of like what Britain's done.
Mm-hmm.
And once all this is over, it'll be like it never happened. So all the industries will then pick back up again.
I see. Okay. Yes.
Interesting idea.
Yeah. Yes, Bree.
I want to pick up on the last few words that you were saying there. Once this is all over, and I've been running this through my head as much as I can. I read the articles. I just watched the Bill Gates newer online TED Talk. How does this end? Because if you think about it, the day we go out is the day that the numbers start upticking again. So like we're saying somehow that we're sequestered and that this is going to stop it. It's not. They're still out there. The virus can live many days, and in fact it could be in any one of us right now.
Well, it could also they say it could go dormant too until the next winter.
Right.
Well,
so I don't see an end unless we have a vaccine, like for polio or or the seasonal flu. I don't see an end to this, and the economic damage is going to be so severe when the food supplies run. I mean, I hate to be the prepper. Nobody's really talking about it. I don't see how we get out of this. I think it's catastrophic, and I think many people are going to die, not just from the pandemic, but the knock-on effects of it. I don't see. I'm a learned individual. I'm not trying to be alarmist. I don't see how. I know we're flattening the curve right now, but how is it that the curve doesn't go massively up the day we, raise the roof, so to speak?
We need a little happiness here. Phil, I'm sure, will give us some very positive advice.
What Doc was saying, what Doc was saying is that everything has been frozen, economically, bills and so forth. In the 70s, we had some massive inflation, and we had it because President Ford put in a price control restrictions trying to stem inflation. But as soon as those price control restrictions were taken off, we ended up with massive inflation that crippled our economy, 18% interest, things like that. So I'm just wondering if that move is going to create.
I think if you go back and look at that, it wasn't as strict as Doc is talking about, and nor the same solution. That all debts are forgiven for the time being. All rents are not to be paid. Everybody just stay in place. Let's get through this thing. And that doesn't sound like what Ford did. What Ford did was a capitalist version of the same thing.
I'm still paying rent.
It didn't work, and it created inflation. But I have one more question for Doc. Are you still experiencing the fires that were ravaging through Australia a few months ago?
Thankfully, the fates took mercy on us before they started to double end us with this as well. By February, the fires had been exhausted. And then we had floods.
Well, you had floods. You had floods because you didn't have the.
What about locusts? You need locusts.
No, but the thing is, that floods.
That's April.
When you have fires like.
Growing, and they've moved into Saudi Arabia. If you haven't noticed, the locusts. Just search it. Locusts, Africa, Middle East.
Okay, but anyway, the point I'm making is that what were we talking about? It just.
We were talking about the inflation.
Yeah, the inflation and so on. I just think that the United States isn't capable of doing what it's got to do because it thinks it so treasures its capitalism that it can't think in terms of this is something that's got to be solved in in a way that helps everybody. And, as I said to you, I think last night, Phil, how do you like the fact that the president just came up with a solution that basically is socialism? Yes, Rob Alfano has his hand.
I'd like to know how it is that you can freeze everything in Australia, because unless you're not using some supplies from Australian companies and such, because somebody's making money. There are companies out there. There are services that need to operate and run. There are people who have to go to work every day. The hospitals, and they're using supplies. They have to buy stuff. You could freeze stuff, but I don't see how that really is an end all be all.
Basically, if it's considered an essential service, it will continue as normal. But as the Prime Minister pointed out, if you shut down a business because they can't pay their rent, you're not going to be able to find someone to replace them. So you may as well just let the cafe or the retailer just close its doors.
Right.
You're not getting any rent because they're not paying for it. Then once it's all over, they'll reopen. But also what the government's also doing is the government's also subsidizing incomes. Right. Australia has a very large casualised workforce, and they're taking this pretty toughly. The advantage, it was what we've been doing, is we've been staggering the shutdowns to give our welfare system effectively the means of supporting itself as it comes through. So like we went from having a unemployment rate of like 5% up to like 15% within the course of a week. Yeah. And they're basically staggering the shutdowns so that our infrastructure stays open as long as possible.
Josh Wheeler's been quiet tonight. Any comments, Josh?
I haven't really noticed that a lot of the things they've tried to do to curb some of this, I've just noticed people really aren't following them. I mean, for example, we have one of these like stay-at-home orders in Ohio, and one of these quote, essential businesses only type things, but no one's really observing it. I mean, like I said, my company isn't shutting down because they say they're essential. I mean, but I mean, all you really have to do.
By the way, in case people are wondering,
essential business.
Josh works for a paint company.
Yeah, I mean, all you have to do to be an essential business is just say that you are.
That's
really.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
the order had been in place maybe like 2 or 3 days, and I came home from work one night, and the house up the street, 4 or 5 houses up the street, was having their carpet cleaned.
Yeah.
The difference is that
I mean, it's like it's a joke, really.
Yeah.
And so until people take it more seriously, it's probably just going to continue to get worse.
Well, the advantage is that here, what they've done is that the government's basically said these jobs are considered essential jobs, and if you're not one of those jobs, your business shuts down.
Right.
You know what? You know what the problem we have here in America, I think, and I listen to Andrew Cuomo every day because I love listening to him talk. I love the common sense he brings to this. But he did something today which he was saying. He said, he gave the pep talk, the big, we're New Yorkers. New Yorkers are tough, and New Yorkers are good to each other. And I just think that he maybe is barking up the wrong tree on that one, because the New Yorkers I saw today were on the street, not wearing masks, not trying to prevent the spread of this.
I can't find a mask. I would love to have one.
Yeah.
I was at the store today. There were no masks.
I was in the hospital today. I had to go to Kaiser.
Oh, I wouldn't have gone to a hospital to save my life.
I had to get
diabetes for the virus.
You had to get what?
My diabetes meds, and they wouldn't mail them because they have to be refrigerated. So, there was people going in. They made you stand 6 feet behind each other. Then they put Purell on your hands. And I said, well, I don't need it. And they said, you have to. And then they put a tag on you that you've been Purelled. And then you stand in another line that you're 6 feet apart. But they were so disorganized getting me the drugs. At one point, I just said, I'm out of here. It was a total mess the way they were setting these things up, because they kept sending me.
It's like Bubbles used to say. It was Kaiser, and that's better known as doctor-assisted suicide.
Well, they were on their way to doing it, and there was some guy about 6 feet from me coughing, and nobody said a word.
Patrick's got his hand up, and then Bree's got his hand up. Yes, Patrick.
Well, like I said earlier, and you just confirmed it about New York. I mean, you can tell people all you want to stay inside, and we're going to do what they want.
Well, but if you, Patrick, if you told them you go outside, and if you don't have a good reason, we're going to fine you $500. I don't think they're coming out so fast.
Right. We have it here. You can get fined. There's something with the police. I don't think it's arresting you, but you can get cited. And I haven't been out in 2 weeks myself, but I know people are out and about. And I mean, what are you going to do? Like I said, short of martial law. So.
Well, but what does this say about us? I mean, here we're being told that if you want to stop this thing, if we all stay inside and we don't come out for a couple of weeks, we can probably slow this thing down. But people aren't doing that. Wait a minute.
Misdemeanor.
Wait a minute. Yes, okay, Phil, because other people have their hands up. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Finish.
In California, it's a misdemeanor. A misdemeanor is punishable by up to a year in jail and a $1,000 fine. If you break if you're out and congregating amongst other people.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't enforce the laws here anyway. I mean, you can drop trow and take a shit on the sidewalk and you don't get arrested. You can walk into a Walgreens and steal stuff off the shelves and you don't get arrested. So.
Well, then I'm moving to California because apparently you can steal stuff and shit on the sidewalks. Bree.
Yeah, a couple of things here. The telcos in Malaysia have all announced that during the movement control order, that's what they call it, the MCO, everybody will get 1 gigabyte of free data per day, which I thought was a nice, thing to do. The other one is when I rode my bike yesterday to the grocery store, the security guard was all over me about parking. I parked next to this Burger King instead of where the bike rack is. And the reason I do that is the bike rack is across this little alleyway and it's near a bus station. It's a little bit risky to park there, in my opinion. So I park at the Burger King and in the outdoor dining area, and they don't have dine-in now. So the whole area is just empty, and I parked there. He was all over me for parking there. He came very aggressively towards me, whereas in Singapore you have to stay 1 meter apart or it's finable by like $10,000 or something. So I'm moving away from him. He's thinking that I'm disrespecting him, but I'm like, that guy could very likely have it because he's in touch with every single person who's walking past him, and so it's just misguided. Then meanwhile, the people waiting in line for the grocery store are not waiting the appropriate distance apart from each other. He's not concerned about that. So, I don't know how we defeat this when people are not listening to government messages. Even security guards don't even understand it. The messaging is out there and they're not listening to it. It doesn't give me confidence that we can beat this thing. And as I said, the day that it's over is the day it restarts. They're buying themselves a week or 2 or 3 to get the hospitals ready.
I just think that, as a society, we shouldn't have to have any of this enforced by fines or anything else. Wow, we can kill this thing if we all stay indoors. Let's go stay indoors. We know it's difficult, but if we do it, they say it's going to clear it up. But there are people who just look at those kids down in Miami and Fort Lauderdale on spring break. I mean, come on.
California too.
Yeah.
That they're coming down with the virus. Those spring break kids.
Yeah.
That many of them are starting to come down with it.
And they're taking it back home to grandma, okay, and their parents and people who are at risk. So I mean but I mean all I was thinking today was, if China was draconian, at least nobody's dying anymore.
Yeah.
And today Cuomo said, this thing is killing business in New York, and the amount of tax we're going to collect and the amount of money we're going to have to put out to solve it is going to perhaps drive the state into being broke. He said, but I'd rather be broke than have another dead person.
I mean, Australia has said that they're happy to put Australia into a recession to fight this.
Yeah.
The government has said, it's like, we will use whatever we have. And if it ends up we're in a recession, well, we're in a recession, but our people will be alive.
How is your prime minister handling this? Is he doing it satisfactorily, do you feel?
He is handling it a lot better than he did the bushfires. I do add that with a caveat is that I am technically a government employee, so I'm not meant to publicly disparage the head of state. But he did cop a lot of flack during the bushfire crisis of how he handled it, and I would say that it is a marked difference between what he did in January versus what he's doing now.
Yeah.
He's handling a lot better than Trump is.
That's what I was going to ask you. You obviously know. You obviously know. I'll go to you next, Charlie. You obviously know what's going on in this country right now. What's your perception of Trump and how he's handling it?
I'm not surprised if some states don't secede after this.
If what? Say that again?
I would not be surprised if states started to secede.
Yeah. Because, I don't feel that he has created a sense of security among the people. Yes, Charlie.
Yeah, I'm sure you all heard what our lieutenant governor said about how people my age and older ought to just sacrifice themselves. Just throw themselves on the grenade and go out there and work all the jobs and get the virus and die.
Yes. And
he really said that that way?
He said it.
That.
He said exactly in that way.
The first thing Australia did was lock down the aged care facilities. Because we knew they were at risk.
In retirement homes, because it's spreading like wildfire through retirement homes.
If you want to read a good column about this, go to timegoesby.net, Ronnie's site. She has an article on it today about what the Texas governor did and what several other people in government are suggesting about all old people falling on the grenade. If it comes time for the respirator, hey, the 40-year-old gets it, not the 80-year-old Alex.
There's your death panels. Right there.
Yes.
Death panel.
I mean, to be honest.
Wait a minute. Phil's laughing at this. Do you find this funny?
Yeah, I said there's your single-payer health care. The death panels, everything. When you have enough people.
We don't have single payer. We have the death panel.
Well, right now, if you got the coronavirus, you're not paying for any health care. The government's paying for all of it, including tests.
So that lieutenant governor who said that is for single payer health care? I think not.
Hell no, he's not.
Australia has single payer health care.
I said this is an example of what will happen.
No, it's not. That's the rhetoric that you bought into.
It's the exact opposite.
It's the truth. That's
okay. We'll see.
Complete bullshit.
Yes.
We're seeing the lines. We're seeing the fear. We're seeing it all.
Bree?
Well, we're seeing a country that's being.
I've been concerned about the way that Trump keeps attacking governors and telling Pence don't call governors who don't treat you right. That's the message. The message is, hey, those governors are asking for too many ventilators, and they should have ordered them before. Don't call them. We're not doing anything for them. That's not the right way to be handling this. We need competent leadership. We're not getting it. That's why it's going to spiral. It's going to be far worse. We are living in a time where people have a belief in something. They believe that President Trump's doing a great job. They don't have facts.
Because they're polls, not IQ measurements.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go, Patrick.
We're in a world of trouble.
Tony has his hand up. Yes,
yeah,
Tony.
I heard that too when he said that. What Trump said, they have to act nice to you. Trump is the type of guy. You can see it now, Phil. Unless you suck his dick and say how great he is.
Do you know what he said today? He said, nobody's thanking me. I would like some common courtesy of thanking me. What? I would like respect. Is pretty much how he put it.
I don't hear this thing. Where do you hear this stuff?
I heard him say it, Phil, out of his own mouth.
I don't,
Jeff, you're agreeing with me, aren't you, Jeff? You heard it.
He had phone calls with all 50 governors. How is he excluding anybody if he's talking
He's
to
arrogant, though, like
Today he was saying that I just don't like the fact that they don't respect me. Well, screw you. This isn't about you.
It doesn't matter. He's just telling you what's on his mind.
Well, what on his mind is a very bad hair thing, whatever that is.
You know what they should tell him, the reporter? The reporter should tell him, excuse me, Trump, you work for me and the American people.
Yeah. Well, he never worked for anybody in his life, so why should he start now?
He's the guy who always had everybody, he had everything, and this is how he operates in his business. If you don't tell me how great I am, you don't get a raise, and you don't get a job, and you don't get this.
Yeah. Did you hear today, Kevin? Did you hear Trump today at all? Kevin?
Yeah.
Did you hear Trump today at all?
No, I didn't hear him today.
Okay. Yeah. Anybody else but me hear him? I guess some broadcasting organizations are saying we're not going to carry his press conferences anymore because we feel that he's stoking fear in the country and giving out with wrong information, and we don't like that going over our airwaves. Imagine
the
saying
governors are running this country right now.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't like that. They're doing a decent job.
Well, if there's anybody who's the president of our country right now, it's Andrew Cuomo. I mean, I know you guys have been able to see him.
You know what I saw today? That lady who's the doctor behind him, and I'll send you the video. She came out with the reporters and she said, I can't say it exactly, Trump is so analytical when we're giving the scientists are giving him the information. It's his business acumen, how he can break down the data and absorb it. Get the fuck.
I've seen great things.
Yeah.
Phil, he's lucky he got out of high school because his father probably paid every education he got.
Yeah. But I mean, Cuomo has been doing a splendid job here of just giving us. Huh? What'd you say?
That's killing Trump. That Andrew Cuomo.
Oh, he hates. You can tell he is so bothered by the fact that Cuomo is getting so much praise for the way he handled himself.
I got to be the one to get it. New York's got the most people dying, and he's doing a good job.
Yeah.
All right, everybody talk about me. And the next 1 o'clock, you say this and you say that. And when I say it smells great. Okay, let everybody go.
And Cuomo begrudgingly has thanked him for certain things, and then he goes on and says, even Mario Cuomo loves what I'm doing. He didn't say that. He said he liked the things you were coming through with stuff that he asked for. But he had to ask for it. He had to know it was needed because Trump wasn't going to know what was needed. Bree.
He's not a nice guy.
We're going to... I hope that the internet stays on, our electricity stays on, and that we can, chronicle the end of the world here on the citizens panel, because I don't see a way out of it.
I'm getting worried.
No one has told me how we're out of it. I've said once we say movement control's over, we start going out again, it spreads again. So
you can't go out right away.
No, you got to let this die.
Once it stops, you got to have a period there where you make sure that it completely dies off.
Unless you got to go to church on Easter Sunday.
Or I can't wait to drop dead in church on the way home.
Yeah,
I'm not going to church. You're gonna have to
thumbs up, just like the common cold. It'll stop.
Oh yeah, just like the common cold. Only
6 months. So.
Yeah, the common cold isn't this lethal.
Yeah, common cold doesn't kill you.
Yeah, but it spreads like the common cold.
But the common cold doesn't kill you, Phil.
Yeah, Phil.
I understand, but it goes away eventually.
Yes, but this isn't the common cold, Phil.
It's a strain.
This is the no, it's not. It's a virus. It's like a flu. It's not like a cold.
It can be in you for 14 days or something and be asymptomatic.
Yeah.
It can kill a healthy adult who has perfect health in a matter of days. It can kill young. It can kill old. It's crazy.
We had a nurse. We had a male nurse in a hospital here, looked very healthy, who just died of it. And he died in a matter of days.
36 or something?
Doesn't sound like the common cold to me, Phil.
I don't. How come I never heard of people dying from the flu like this? You didn't.
This morning, a woman was on the sidewalk at the corner of our building and collapsed, and there was a bunch of cop cars there and an ambulance. But I don't know if it was from the virus or if it, she just had a heart attack. But it's interesting. They're dropping dead in the streets.
Well, but you don't know that they were dropping dead in the streets because you didn't know what was wrong with her.
No, yeah, but it was interesting.
What'd you do? Just stand by and watch?
No, I wasn't around. I asked her if she called the police, and she said they were already there.
You asked who? The woman?
No, Faye.
Oh, Faye. Oh, okay. Oh, so Faye came in and told you about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, have
I'm
you
lucky.
been?
I live in a county. There isn't one case.
Thank God. I'm afraid.
You know, you have a, but you do have,
but-
you don't have the density of population like in New York. I mean, New York is.
And I'm 2 hours from an airport.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not a cosmopolitan area around here.
Yeah.
This is a very rural kind of Mayberry, if you will, kind of town.
Don't
you
think
know?
you're so safe because the guy
Oh,
that
I
died
know.
here, the guy that died here was he's
should.
20 miles outside of 22 miles outside of town, and he died.
You know what's going to happen? I think, Alex.
What?
I told
Just
someone a
saying.
little bit. I think after this, you're
We
going to
got
see
two
a
more
lot of
today.
people from New York. They're going to start leaving the suburbs. They're going to get out of here. They don't want to be in dense areas.
Well, living in a dense area is certainly our great sin that we're
That's
paying
the
for.
problem.
Huh?
That's the problem with New York and places like that. It's a denser area.
And what
Mhm.
kind
If
of
you
have
get
people
spread
all-
out, it's going to be less of a chance.
Right. Right.
You know, in our area here, we're a county of 60,000. We have a dense area, and then it's spread out. And we got 2 more today, and there's 14 in our area. One,
Jeff.
one
Jeff's
aside.
got his hand up, and turn your mic on, Jeff. Your mic isn't on. Okay. Jeff, your mic isn't on.
On.
There we
Thank
go. Okay.
Connecticut is finding that a whole bunch of New Yorkers are leaving New York and coming to Connecticut where they can rent a place or
There you go.
live in a place or hang out with their cousin or whatever. And it's going to affect the number of people who are going to die in Connecticut.
Yeah, what they should do is stay in place, stay in your home, don't leave.
That's the best thing.
You know, that's the best thing.
You hole in for a while.
Now, granted, I have to say thank God for this apartment I'm in because it's so big that we don't want to kill each other. But if it were like my old two bedroom or 1 bedroom apartment downtown, we'd probably be strangling each other at this point.
You think they're fleeing New York to go to Connecticut because they're worried that if they do get sick, at least Connecticut's hospitals won't be so overrun.
You've got a better chance of survival, sure.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to Florida, and that the governor of Florida was talking about the New Yorkers coming down.
If they come down by plane, they want to test them, I think.
Yeah.
And if
Well,
they're going to take their,
That's the same governor that let those kids go out on those beaches and catch the coronavirus. Anyway, hey, listen, there's our theme that's playing.
Wow.
Boy, another good one tonight. A lot of people listening, a lot of people watching. And I want to thank, first of all, Rob Alfano, who did that really good, great opening.
Thank you, CNN.
A great thing on Trump and his change of heart, shall we say. Let's also thank Charlie, and let's thank, look with the baby, there's Doc Winters, Ross, as I like to call him. Call us some more because you may not be able to get out of the house, okay? We love hearing from you. And your picture looks great, too. Phil, thank you so much for being here. Tony, thank you. Jeff, Patrick, Bree, Kevin, who's been frozen for a while here, and our old friend and companion, as it were, Josh Wheeler. Oops, everybody's kind of blanking out there.
You didn't have
What?
Todd made an effort.
Yeah, Todd, sorry we couldn't get you on. All right. Anyway, that's it, actually, for tonight. Why doesn't everybody give a big wave goodbye, and I'll wave back at you, okay? That's the way we always do it. Okay, there they go. All right, that's our citizen panel for tonight. I hope I got everybody because it's hard to remember. And Todd, we wanted to have you on, but unfortunately, when we get this many people going on the citizen panel at one time, it becomes a problem. So I just wanted you to know that. Anyway, thank you all. We'll take a couple of days off, and then we're going to come right back at you on Tuesday night. Tuesday night, right? 10:30, same time, same station in life. In the meantime, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? And it's our anniversary today, too. We've been married 8 years. They said it would never last. And they were right. Anyway, good night, everybody.